ask a question. But
Yes.
have you ever like think about suicide?
Oh, well, it's not usually about suicide. It's usually about like, you know, about your love life. It's like, are you going to meet? Oh, a psychiatrist. No, not
psychology. Psychologist.
No, not a psychologist. A psychic. A psychic. You know, they have like sometimes they have a what's it called? A ball.
A crystal ball?
A crystal ball. They have a crystal ball, right? And they look and they see. Oh, they tell you your future.
Oh, gosh.
Right. Oh, I see much that 2015 will be a great year for you, right? And obviously, I don't know any psychic that says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, your life is going to be horrible. Oh, I think you should just go home and just like put the covers over your head and don't go out because, oh, your life, oh." They never say that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's always very positive, right? And, okay. So, now where was I going with this? Creativity, right? But they're saying if psychics really had any really kind of ability, they're saying that you should never go, the only psychic you should go to is a very large woman. Because women are more intuitive than men, right? And then women who have a lot of body water, right, are supposedly more in touch, right? More in touch with this. Oh, anyway, so this creative thing. Okay. So now you created a scene, right? You created your dialogue. But you're going to continue on creating this dialogue. And so when will you get your inspiration? Do you know what I mean? When will this, will it just kind of, maybe you, sometimes they say right before you fall asleep, right? Because you're in this kind of like, you know, and things. In fact, I have to keep a pencil and paper, and I write it. I don't even keep it sometimes, and I just have to get up and find something. Because every once in a while, somebody brilliant will come in and I'll say, oh, I'll remember this. And of course, it's so brilliant, I'll remember it in the morning. And then in the morning, no. So I vow, because it's like, yeah. Okay. So anyway, so start to watch when you're when these creative things, right? Okay? Now, for acting, how do we want to, like, he's always saying, you know, this Oscar stuff or whatever, but if you have, I don't know, even if you say you're a rock star, right? Okay. Have you ever gone to see any rock stars? Have you ever gone to a concert? What was the last concert you went to?
That was like 3 years ago.
Who was it?
Rammstein.
Okay. Was it like, did everybody stand for the whole thing and it was like everybody's like that the whole time, right? Okay. Lots of energy, right? Okay. Now, how much were the tickets?
$80.
80? Yeah. I mean, sometimes like what, $300, $500, right? Okay. How do these high school kids afford a $500 ticket? The parents? Yes, or they're dealing, I guess. They're drug money, right? Okay. Anyway, okay. Now, how do you say does this rock star? Imagine you're the rock star, and people are paying $500 tickets. And you don't really feel like performing. How do you do it? Do you just say, you know what I mean? It's a form of creativity, right? It's like,
take a drug and let's go.
Okay, take a drug, right? Sometimes they do, right? They do. But you start to see now this pressure. You know, it's that even actresses now, this pressure to look like you used to look, right? And so now it's this big thing about the plastic surgery and Renee Zellweger and all this kind of stuff, you know. You know this actress Renee Zellweger? She had these very high cheeks. She always looked like she was crying to me. All the time, right? She looked very pouty, right?
Yeah.
But that's a style. It's like Betty Boop. Do you remember that cartoon Betty Boop? Yeah, you know, because she looked always like she's kind of crying. It's like a toy in a way, but men like that, right? Men like that. It's a style. Okay. But how, again, so as actors, how do you keep your creativity?
Using energy of audience.
Okay. So we might use
their
energy of the audience?
expectation, and we change our energy.
Nice.
And I can get energy from them, and they can get energy from me.
Okay.
Just like a
Okay.
changing.
Good. Can you rely on that all the time?
Yeah.
What if you're doing film and there's no audience?
I just know it's my job. I have a special button in my head.
Oh, the button.
Yeah.
Push the button. Push the button. Okay, so, but sometimes that's right. But in film, you know, you get to do as many takes as it takes, right? So, except the crew then gets like kind of upset when you have to keep, doing it over and over and over. Sometimes it doesn't work. Oh, excuse me. Oh, well, they've been doing these. So I was talking to somebody, and he was calling them. Oh, now I can't remember. It was very clever. What he called it. It was like when you use somebody as the star, but not because of their talent, just because of they will draw in a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. And they do these. They've been doing these live performances of these musicals. They did The Sound of Music, which is this famous musical, The Sound of Music, and they used this country rock singer. You know, what's her name? I forget. And these rock singers, do you know how much makeup they use? They look like clowns. I mean, it's like kabuki. It's like their makeup is so thick. But the women in Iowa and Ohio and Nebraska, they are painting their faces like that. You know, Carrie Underwood is her name, right? And so think there are all these talented women who can, actresses who can sing, but then they give it to these, stars. So they did it again. They did it in this called Peter Pan, very famous old musical. And they gave it to the daughter of he's a newscaster. You know, she's fine, she's an actress or whatever, but she can't, whatever. But they did. But you watch these things, and when they originally did them, they do the whole big shtick, the thing that they try to get people excited about watching it, is that it's done live. But it's, they're still trying to use cameras, and they're using, special effects and things like that. But the things are just dead when you watch them. They're dreadful. Oh, they used, in fact, it was Captain Hook. He was a pirate. They used this famous actor, who plays villains, but he's like, oh, what's his name? It's just dreadful. He's just like, and they're all saying it's because there was no audience, because it wasn't live.
Is it Hugh Jackman?
No, an old guy. In fact, he's kind of a joke. He's kind of, people imitate him all the time. You can find him on your phones, whatever. You look up Peter Pan. So anyway, do you see what I'm saying? So let's try and think of some other ways, maybe for us as actors, that we can try to, you know what I mean, have some security, have some insurance when we're not really feeling it.
We have to be in contact with our partner.
Okay, so you can do that. There's sometimes that you can do that too, right? Now, what if your partner is like nothing? What if your partner is a piece of tape, which they are sometimes, right? When you're doing close-up.
I have to knock to him. Hey, wake up!
Yes, exactly. But then, do they like that? Do other actors like that? No. Then they complain, right? Why is she telling me what to do? Don't tell me what to do. I'm a great actor. You don't tell me what to do, right?
No,
See what I'm saying?
It's not professional.
Right. Yeah, it's not professional. So I'm still trying. So let's think of what I think one way that you can try is to try and figure out something that's doable. Again, it's how you change how you think. Right? Because we can always, with our minds, we can always change how we're thinking, right? We can always change how we see something. Right? So then it puts us kind of in control and has nothing to do with our feelings, so that means that it's very reliable. Okay? So and I kind of already talked about it a little bit in this homework that we talked about, which is this thing about character, about thinking about what your character does most.